So when I thought of this video, I was asking myself, why making a video on validation, the need of company, and the need of the feeling of belonging? And I wanted to make a video saying that you do not need it. But the fact is that for the vast majority of people, they need it. So what we need to study here, what we need to investigate is the reason why people need it. We can't simply deny and say, no, it's all okay, you don't need it, you can go without it. Because the reality is that for most of the people, you can't. You need it, and without it, you feel kind of incomplete, abandoned, isolated, and hopeless, or whatever. So we're going to admit that you are needing this, and we're going to try to discover why you are needing it. Whenever you feel the need of company, whenever you feel the need of having people around you, I believe that the most probable reason, the one that comes first to my mind, is that you are not able to stand yourself alone. That is, when you find yourself alone with yourself on your own company, when the company that you have in your moments of solitude is you can't stand it. You think that, I don't know, you are boring, you have no ideas, you have nothing to think of, you are not able to stand that situation, and so on. So the problem here is you yourself don't feel that you are complete. You feel that you need others in order to feel complete. You need to have the company of others, which can be maybe portrayed as support or validation, as I said, or just the mere fact of having company so that you don't feel alone, so that you don't feel isolated. In my opinion, having company and having people around you should be something that it's part of your life and not something that you are dependent on. If you are dependent on that, that means that you are always depending on people to have a decent life, a healthy life, a life that you consider acceptable and good for you. And you really want to avoid that. Is there a formula? Is there a way that you can solve that and not needing people around anymore, not needing company and being able to stand alone? I don't think there is a formula. I don't think there is a solution for that simply is going to erase this issue of your life. But one thing that I'm sure can give you a good help is if you start feeding yourself, feeding your thoughts, your soul, your mind, whatever you want to call it, with good content. Be it art, be it, I don't know, philosophy, or anything that somehow makes you feel that you are doing something that fulfills you, that you enjoy, that you like. Besides that, another thing that can help you is if you manage. It's very difficult to portray that because, at least with me, it happens so naturally, for lack of a better word, that it's difficult for me to describe. But you have to somehow enjoy your own company. You have to find a way to, when you are with yourself, get so busy in your thoughts, in your dreams, in things that you imagine, no matter how crazy they are, how irreal they are. And you have to get so entertained by yourself, your thoughts, your soul, the things that come to your heart, to your mind, and so on, that hours pass. Sometimes I need to do something within an hour or an hour and a half, and until then I'm free. I have nothing to do. And then I'm like, okay, well, nothing to do for 1 hour and a half, for 1 hour. And I just start thinking of something, and that thing starts carrying me away and bringing me to other thoughts, and I start considering other stuff. And when I noticed I needed to leave in 10 minutes, and I'm like, man, I need to brush my teeth, get ready, dress, and so on, and I have 10 minutes, and I just don't notice, like if it was a trip. I went somewhere, and then I come back, and I'm like, man, I need to leave in 10 minutes. So how are you going to manage that? How are you going to feel entertained with your own self? It's difficult to give you a formula, but I'm going to say something that in the principle you're going to find a bit crazy, but I think that if you practice this with time, you're going to notice that it has an effect. Try to read a lot of poetry before you sleep. Try to read the big classical poets before you sleep, no matter who. Choose something and read a little bit before you sleep. Why that? When you read poetry before you sleep, what happens is that somehow you activate this creative side of yours that we all have. No matter how unoriginal, non-creative you think you have this side. It's just not worked. It's just not developed. And when you read poetry before you sleep, what's going to happen is that you're going to have all those images, all those creations by the poets, all those figures appearing in your mind, all those imagetical situations and so on, hovering all over your head. And you are going to fall asleep with a lot of colors, images, stories, and creations in your head. Little by little, it's not gonna happen in 1 week, it's not gonna happen in a month, maybe it's not gonna happen in a year. But as time passes by, you are going to notice that you are going to start having ideas, you are going to start imagining a lot, you are going to start dreaming a lot, you are going to, I don't know, you took the tram to go somewhere, or you took the bus or the subway, and you are going to lay like this a little bit your head, waiting for the trip to arrive. You have 10, 12 stops, who knows, and you're going to start kind of daydreaming, you're going to start imagining different stuff, different situations, and this is going to kind of entertain you. And this is one way among thousands of others that might exist out there that will help you getting busy with yourself and not thinking that you are boring and that you need other people around you. Another thing that you can do is I always suggest this in various videos when it comes up to strengthen your spirit, strengthen your mind, and as we are dealing with ourselves in this season, I'm going to repeat it. Try to find activities that somehow demand a lot from you and make you make efforts, so to say, make you become disciplined, make you become very dedicated. Without that, you can't make it. Of course, in the beginning, you're going to have difficulties because you're not used to it. But as time passes by, if you insist a little bit, you are going to see that you are going to start strengthening your mind. You are going to start becoming, let's say, bulletproof in your mind. Not everything will affect you, not everything will weaken you. And by doing that, little by little, you will gain confidence. But what am I calling confidence here? I'm not talking about being arrogant or thinking that you're better than others or thinking that you are like the king of the room, that you own the place where you go and so on. No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a confidence that brings you more of a serenity, a tranquility, a peaceful state of mind that is not a peace, is a harmony of all the chaos that you have inside of you. It's a kind of serenity in perceiving, in understanding all the chaos inside of you, and you're going to be able to deal with it better. When it comes to validation, which is all connected, this idea of feeling that you belong, validation and company, they are all connected somehow. When it comes to validation, there is another point, there is another topic that we should discuss somehow, which is the topic of insecurity. When you need other people's validation, no matter who you are, how famous you are, how beautiful you are, how rich you are, how powerful you are, if you need other people's validation, you are normally weak in your mind and you are normally an insecure person. You are someone who is never sure of what you're doing, of your decisions and so on. I'm not telling you to go to the opposite and become stubborn, blind, and just think that you're always right and that you're always making the best decisions and that you're always doing everything in a great way. No, but I want you to make an effort. I want you to try to self-evaluate yourself, to self-analyze, to look at yourself inside and see if the things that you are doing, if the decisions that you are making are being prejudicial to you, or when they involve other people, prejudicial to other people. Because what happens is that sometimes you are doing the things right, you are doing the best you can, and the best you can is good enough, and you are still thinking that no, I'm not good. That shouldn't be accepted. I'm not as good as I should or as I could, or something like this. And you simply cannot see the results, like someone who is already anorexic, extremely thin, and he keeps saying I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat, or the other way around, someone who likes, I don't know, to bodybuild and to build muscle, and is already huge, massive, almost an aberration, and it's still like, oh, my biceps is still small, I needed to grow it a little more, I'm not big enough, and so on. You cannot perceive reality as reality is. You cannot see things the way they are. And I think you should pay attention to that, evaluate that, and see if the validation you are searching for is really what you need to go on, is really what you need to make things right or to make things better. Because in so many cases, not all of them, not the majority, but in so many cases, you are doing things well. You are doing things correctly, you are doing things on the right way, you are achieving certain stuff, but you are still thinking, no, I'm not, no, I'm not. I need to see other people saying that what I'm doing is good, correct, or whatever. And the reality is that you don't. Also because there will be times in which you are going to be doing things correctly, you are going to be doing things right, uh, honestly, and the way they should be done, and people will criticize you. People will say that you are doing them wrong for various reasons. They want to put you down, they want you to go down to their level, and they see that you are in a higher level. They will envy you, they will envy your achievements and so on, and they will try to drag you down to make you feel like, no, you're not good enough, you're not good enough. They will try to cut your legs, so to say, so that you don't go as far as you could. So you also have to pay attention to that. I'm not trying to play here the advocate that is always going to tell you, no, poor you, you are great, you are a genius, everyone around you is wrong, and so on. No, there is some self-evaluation on that. You will have to pay attention whether things are like that or not, and you will have to become a judge of yourself and an honest judge of yourself. But in several occasions, you are going to notice that when people are trying to put you down, are trying to tell you that things are not good enough, that you don't deserve what you got, and so on, is because either they are envious of you, or they don't want you to reach more, they don't want you to conquer more, because they themselves, they cannot do it, so they don't want others to be able to do it as well. Okay, it's getting a little longer, this one, so I'm going to finish here. And if I come up with other ideas on this topic of validation, the need of company, and the feeling that you belong, I will record another video with different approaches to the topic. That's it.